Please be respect to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Today I would like to explain about the only way for the realization of Nibbana. For the realization of Nibbana, are there how many ways? No one gives answer. How many ways? Only one way. Not two ways. What is one way? This is very important. Do you have enough faith in the Buddha? Have you enough faith in the Buddha?
Yes.
Do you have enough faith again in the Dhamma taught by the Buddha? Do you have enough faith? The Buddha's teaching. This is important. My teaching is not important. Buddha's teaching is important. So you should have enough faith in the Buddha's teaching. This is the Buddha's teaching now. Mahasatipatthana Sutta. You have already understood. In the beginning, as an introduction, Buddha says, the only way bhikkhus is this path for the purification of beings, for the surmounting of sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, for the attainment of the noble path, for the realization of Nibbana, namely the four foundations of mindfulness. M170, this is Majjhima Nikaya. There are 3 volumes, so this is number 1 volume, page number 17, according to 16th edition. What are the 4? Number 1. Here bhikkhus, a bhikkhu abides contemplating the body in the body. Are they fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and greed for the world? He abides contemplating feelings and the feelings. Are they fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and greed for the world? Number 3. He abides contemplating mind and the mind. Are they fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and greed for the world? Number 4. He abides contemplating Dhamma objects and the Dhamma objects. Are they fully aware and mindful, having put away covetousness and greed for the world? This is the introduction of Mahasatipatthana Sutta. When practicing Satipatthana, 4 foundations of mindfulness, you must have 3 types of quality. Number 1, attitude. You should have enough effort for the realization of Nibbana. Second, full aware. You must try to understand your meditation object fully. If you understand your meditation object partially, it is impossible. Full awareness of your meditation object is very important. Then number 3 is mindful. You must always mindful. You must always remember your meditation object. You must establish your mindfulness on your meditation object always. So these 3 are very important. Number 1, viriya, effort. Number 2, fully aware or clear comprehension. Number 3, mindful. Then you must remove two important defilements. Number 1, having put away covetousness. Number 2, greed, unhappiness. While meditating, if you have strong attachment to your sensual object, this is impossible for realization of nirvana. So you must put aside every attachment. Secondly, unhappiness. If there are many difficulties because of business, other than if you meditate, it is not easy to be successful. So unhappiness you must remove when practicing meditation. So if there are 4 types of meditation subjects, body, you must contemplate the body and the body. You must contemplate feelings and the feelings. You must contemplate mind and the mind. You must contemplate Dhamma objects and the Dhamma objects. So, Kaya, Vedana, Citta, Dhamma. Body, feeling, mind and Dhamma objects. Altogether, 4 subjects. But if you practice one meditation, one session, for example, Anapana session, thoroughly according to Buddha's instruction, stage by stage, then you had already practiced 4 foundations of mindfulness. Satipatthana, Sattaro Satipatthana. How? So please try to listen. Number 1 session in Mahasriprana Sutta about Anapana meditation. Number 1 Samatha meditation, Buddha teach in Mahasriprana Sutta about Anapana. Number 2, Buddha teaches Vipassana meditation. So Samatha and Vipassana, Buddha teach stage by stage. So body contemplation, Kayanupassana. And how bhikkhus does a bhikkhu by contemplating the body and the body? Here a bhikkhu gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to a secluded place, sits down, having folded his legs crosswise, set his body erect, and having established mindfulness on his meditation object, ever mindful he breathes in, ever mindful he breathes out. So in this case, Buddha gave instruction suitable place for meditation. Number 1, forest. Number 2, the root of a tree. Or number 3, secluded place. So you should choose this suitable place. Then, when practicing Anapana meditation, you should sit down. Sitting posture is best posture for higher concentration. Because of this reason, Buddha teach to sit down. But in every bodily posture, you can practice this Anapana meditation. However, while practicing Anapana, sitting posture is best posture for the attainment of jhana concentration, full absorption stage. So, after sitting, you should fold your legs crosswise. So this is important. Then set your body erect. You must put erect. Breathing is not good because the part of the breath is not straight. And then you cannot concentrate well. They haven't established mindfulness on his meditation object. You must establish your mindfulness on your meditation object. Do you understand? If you want to practice Anapana, you should establish your mindfulness on your Anapana object. If you establish your mindfulness in different objects, then this is no Anapana meditation. Is it true? Because you are paying attention to different objects. So we cannot say you are practicing Anapana meditation. So if you want to practice Anapana meditation, you should establish your mindfulness on your meditation object. This is Anapana. Ever mindful, he breathes in. Ever mindful, he breathes out. Then Buddha teaches another systematically samatha meditation. Number one, breathing in loud, he understands and breathes in loud. Or breathing out loud, he understands and breathes out loud. Number two, breathing in short, he understands and breathes in short. Or breathing out short, he understands and breathes out short. Number three, he trains that I shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body of breath. He trains that I shall breathe out, experiencing the whole body of breath. Number four, he trains that I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the bodily formation. He trains that I shall breathe out, tranquilizing the bodily formation. What is the meaning? The meaning of these four sentences. Sentence 1 and 2. Here long breath and short breath means the duration of time of the actual breath. Their length and shortness should be understood by itself. Adhana. If the meditator breathes slowly, that breath is called long. If the meditator breathes quickly, that breath is called short. That long or short breath should be known on the touching point only. That is on the nostril or upper lip only. However, the meditator must not intentionally try to make the breath either long or short. Please allow the breath to arise and fall in a natural way. This is very important. So, long breath and short means where on the nostril or upper lip. This is we call touching point. On the touching point, you should wait and see the breath. When it is long, you should try to understand this is long. When it is short, you should try to understand this is short. However, you should not try intentionally to make the breath either long or short. Please allow your breath in a natural way. This is very important. And sentence number 3, the whole body of breath. The whole body of breath means the beginning, middle, and end of the entire in-breath and out-breath. On the touching point only. That is on the nostril or upper lip only. It is not necessary to see the breath going through the whole body from head to foot. This is also very important. Some meditation teachers teach, in this case, to see the breath from head to foot, especially in United States. So they instruct the whole body of breath means they must follow from the head to foot. The breath is going throughout the body. But in our Visuddhimagga commentary, you can see, please carefully note the following explanation. Phutta Photo Kase Vana Satin Tapitawa Bhavanta Seva Bhavana Samvichati. This is very important. A bhikkhu must have the necessary mindfulness and understanding and must look for the in-breath and out-breath. Nowhere else than the place. That means the nostril or upper lip only. normally touched by them. However, his development is successful when he establishes his mindfulness the place, that is the nostril or upper lip only, touched by the breath. If he cultivates mindfulness of breathing in this way, then his meditation can be fully developed up to the attainment of jhana. This is Visuddhimagga, Volume 1, page number 271. This rule is very important. Because of this reason, while practicing Anapana meditation, you must try to see only the breath on the touching point. That is on the nostril or upper lip for beginners. On the upper lip or nostril only. So if you can watch your breath on the touching point only, then you can attain jhana. If you follow inside and outside, then if you follow inside throughout the body, your mind will go throughout the body. This is what we call restlessness, vikshepa. If there is restlessness, concentration cannot be developed. So please do not follow throughout the body your breath. You should watch here on the nostril only. On the nostril, you must try to understand the breath from the beginning to the end. Beginning, the middle, and the end. So, where begins only on the touching point only. Where ends only on the touching point only. You should not search for anywhere, only this. You should fix one area. If the meditator has long nose, then the breath touches on the nostril. If the meditator's nose is short, like for me, then the breath touches on the upper lip only. So you should watch where is very clear. On that clear point, you should wait and see the just breath only. From this point, you should not move your attention to anywhere. Then another is about nimitta. I want to explain about nimitta because some meditation teachers, they do not accept nimitta. Buddha never teach nimitta in many sutras. This is their argument. But in Paticamidamagga, this is one Pali text. In Kotaka Nikaya. Kotaka Nikaya means there are 5 Nikayas. Number 1 is Digha Nikaya, long discourse. Number 2 is Majjhima Nikaya, the middle discourse. Number 3 is Samyutta Nikaya, connected sayings. Number 4 is Anguttara Nikaya, gradual sayings. Number 5 is Kotaka Nikaya. They translate Kotaka Nikaya as miscellaneous Nikaya. Miscellaneous means in Kotaka Nikaya, Vinaya also under Kotaka Nikaya, Abhidhamma also under Kotaka Nikaya. There are many different types of suttas also under Kotaka Nikaya, such as Dhammapada, Iddhiyodhaka, etc. So, in Kotaka Nikaya, Paticamidamagga is one volume. In Paticamidamagga, Venerable Sariputta says this stanza, Nimitta asasa pasasa anaramana mega chitasa ajana dotiyodami bhavana nupa labati. Paticamidamagga, page number 169. Anapana chapter. What is the meaning? Sign, in-breath, out-breath are not objects of a single consciousness. By one who knows not these 3 things with a single consciousness, development is not obtained. What is the meaning? For beginners, number one, nimitta. Sign is no street or upper lip only. For beginners, because he did not yet see nimitta. Asasa is in-breath and pasasa is out-breath. These three things are not the object of a single consciousness. A single consciousness simultaneously understands both in-breath and nimitta, no street or upper lip, or out-breath and nimitta, no street or upper lip. However, if a meditator does not know these three things with a single consciousness, with a single mind movement, then his meditation cannot develop up to the attainment of jhana. What is the meaning? If you want to understand the meaning, then please follow after. For that reason, the meditator must try to know these three things simultaneously with a single consciousness, with a single mind movement, for the attainment of jhana. How should he try? Parisamidhamaka again says that nimitta asasa pasasa anaramana meka citasa jhanato chatyo dhame bhavana upadlavati. Same page. What is the meaning? Sign, in-breath, out-breath are not object of a single consciousness. Development can be obtained by one who does not know these three things with a single consciousness. Development can be obtained. What is the meaning? When meditation improves and concentration on the natural breath, situated on the nostril or upper lip, becomes deeper and deeper, the nimitta sign will appear on the nostril or upper lip. At that time, the meditators contemplating mind focuses on the nimitta only, not on the breath. There are three types of nimitta. Number one, the grey smoky kala nimitta, which is the preliminary sign, parikama nimitta. Number two, the white contour wool kala nimitta, which is the landing sign, kumbha nimitta. Number three, the translucent and bright nimitta, like the morning star, which is the counterpart sign, patibhaga nimitta. Depending on a meditator's perception, there may also be different kala or different shaped nimitta. However, sound is not the nimitta of anapanasana. Why? In America, some teachers teach while concentration begins, they hear one type of sound in the ear. They think this is the full absorption jhana. In this way they teach. So there are different color, different shape in nimittas, but sound is not nimittas, according to Buddha's teaching. So among these three types of nimitta sign, the counterpart sign is the object of anapana jhana. At that time, number one, the nimitta sign is in anapana counterpart sign, anapana patibhaga nimitta. Number two, the in-breath is also anapana counterpart sign. And number three, the out-breath is also anapana counterpart sign. Asasa pasasa nisaya upana nimitta pitta asasa pasasa saminya mewa. This is Visuddhimagga Mahadika, Volume 1, page number 319. What is the meaning? Depending on the natural in-breath and out-breath, the nimitta sign appears because of deep concentration. Therefore, nimitta can also be called the in-breath and the out-breath. So, in-breath also nimitta, out-breath also nimitta, nimitta also nimitta. So these three are same. at the time. Because of this reason, for that reason, when attaining jhana, that means at the actual moment of full absorption, a single consciousness or a single jhana mind moment can take these three things, the nimitta, the in-breath and the out-breath as the object of jhana. Because at the jhana mind moment, these three things are only one object, that is only anapana counterpart. This is the meaning of sentence 4. The bodily formation, kaya sankhara, here means the in-breath and out-breath. In the Anguttara Nikaya, 9th chapter, Anubhava Nirodha Sutta, in Anguttara Nikaya, gradual sense, there are 3 volumes. Number 3 volume, page number 207. The Buddha says the in-breath and out-breath cease completely in the 4th jhana. Therefore, tranquilizing the bodily formation means the meditator must practice up to 4th jhana. So, in Mahasriprana Sutta, Buddha also teaches samatha meditation. Many meditation teachers, they don't want to accept. Buddha teaches samatha in Mahasriprana Sutta. They think Mahasriprana Sutta teaches only pure vipassana. This is their wrong teaching only. Buddha teaches up to 4th jhana only, but the system is very brief. Why? Listeners already understand what is the meaning, but nowadays many listeners, you may do not understand. So this is the difference. Because of this reason, when you attain up to the 4th jhana, at the actual full moment of full absorption stage, your breath completely stops. If you re-establish your 4th jhana attainment for about 1 hour, within 1 hour, your breath completely stops. Some meditators afraid. Oh, one may die at the time. It is impossible. The power of 4th jhana concentration can maintain your body. Don't be worried. It is not necessary to be afraid of. Then the Buddha continues his teaching with an example. Just as a skilled jhana or his apprentice, when making a long turn, understands and makes a long turn. Or when making a short turn, understands and makes a short turn. So too, breathing in long, he understands and breathes in long. Or breathing out long, he understands and breathes out long. Breathing in short, he understands and breathes in short. Or breathing out short, he understands and breathes out short. He trains thus and shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body of breath. He trains thus and shall breathe out, experiencing the whole body of breath. He trains thus and shall breathe in, tranquilizing the body formation. He trains thus and shall breathe out, tranquilizing the body formation. This is the Buddha's teaching in the Mahasriprana Sutta. There may be some listeners who understand the meaning of this sentence, but there may be some meditators, they may do not understand clearly. So we will try to explain in brief way how a meditator develops concentration. To begin meditating, sit in a comfortable position and try to be aware of the breath as it enters and leaves the body through the nostrils. The meditator should be able to feel it either just below the nose or somewhere around the nostrils. That is called the touching point. Do not follow the breath into the body or out of the body, because then he will not be able to perfect his concentration. Just be aware of the breath at the most obvious place it brushes against or touches, either the top of the upper lip or around the nostrils. Then he will be able to develop and perfect his concentration. After concentrating his mind like this, for at least half an hour, he should proceed to the first and second stage of the meditation. That is long breath and short breath. So first he should try to concentrate on the breath only. If he can concentrate for a few minutes or maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it is very good opportunity. It is not necessary to try counting breath. But if he cannot concentrate well, then he should try to count the breath. This is the suggestion of commentaries. But without counting, if you can concentrate well on your breath object for about 10 minutes or 20 minutes, then you can proceed to start to understand the long breath and short breath. When it is long, you should try to understand this is long. When it is short, you should try to understand this is short. However, please do not know this is long or this is short. If you want to know, then you should know only breathe in, breathe out only. Why? While practicing, concentration is very important. You should not investigate whether it is really long or whether it is really short. If you investigate in this way, then the enlightenment factor of investigation becomes excessive. When it is excessive, concentration will decrease. So because of this reason, please simply note, breathe in, breathe out only. But when it is long, you should try to understand it is long. If you understand it is enough, it is not necessary to know this is long. When it is short, you should try to understand it is short. But please do not know this is short. If you understand, it is enough. At this stage, he has to develop awareness of whether the in and out breath are long or short. Long or short here does not refer to length in feet, in inches, but length in time, the duration. He should decide for himself what length of time he will call long and what length of time he will call short. Be aware of the duration of each in and out breath. You will notice that the breath is sometimes long in time and sometimes short. Just knowing this is all he has to do at this stage. Do not note in out long, in out short. Just in out in be aware of whether the breath are long or short. He should know this by seeing just aware of the length of time that the breath brushes against and touches the upper lip or around the nostrils as it enters and leaves the body. Sometimes the breath may be long throughout the sitting and sometimes short, but do not purposely try to make it long or short. Throughout sitting, if it is long, no problem. Throughout sitting, when it is short, it is also no problem. If you understand throughout the breath, it is enough. At this stage, for some meditators, the nimitta may appear. But if he is able to do this calmly for about 1 hour and no nimitta appears, he should move on to the third stage, that is experiencing the whole body of breath. If he is calmly aware of the breath from beginning to end for about an hour and no nimitta appears, he should move on to the fourth stage, that is tranquilizing the body formation. To do this, he should decide to make the breath tranquil and go on being continuously aware of the breath from beginning to end. He should move on to the third stage, and that experience in the whole body of breath. So, when practicing to understand the whole body of breath from the beginning to the end, it is also not necessary to know this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. If you want to know, please know only simply breathing in, breathing out only. But throughout the whole breath, you must try to understand. When it is long, you should try to understand the whole body of breath. When it is short, you should try to understand the whole body of breath. Naturally, at that stage, when concentration develops, the breath becomes subtle. This is natural. At this stage, the nimitta may appear, but if he is able to do this calmly for about 1 hour and no nimitta appears, he should move on to the fourth stage, tranquilizing the bodily formation. When the breath becomes very calm, other than you should not try to make the breath clear. Please concentrate on that calm breath, subtle breath. Subtle breath is very good. Why? Very soon nimitta will appear. When nimitta appear, you must focus on the nimitta. Other than when the breath is very clear, then sometimes you may be able to concentrate on the nimitta. Sometimes you may be able to concentrate on your breath. So there may be two objects. If there are two objects, your concentration cannot improve. Because of this reason, when the breath becomes subtle, it is very good opportunity. You should not try to make the breath clear or to make the breath cross. If you try in this way, your effort becomes excessive. When effort is excessive, restless mind will appear. Concentration will decrease. Because of this reason, please allow your breath in the natural way. While concentrated on the whole breath body, whether it is long or short. And then when the breath becomes subtle, you should try to concentrate on the subtle breath. And then strong, powerful mindfulness. Strong, powerful, full awareness is necessary. Full awareness is necessary. If you want to use very subtle needle, then there must be another needle to dig a hole. This is necessary. In the same way, when the breath becomes very subtle, other than strong, powerful mindfulness and strong, powerful awareness is very important. And then please increase your mindfulness. Please penetrate to know the subtle breath. If you do in this way, slowly your concentration will improve. And then to do this, he should decide to make the breath tranquil and go on being continuously aware of the breath from beginning to end. He should do nothing else, otherwise his concentration will break and fall away. The Visuddhimagga gives 4 petals for making the breath tranquil. Number 1, concern, avogat. Number 2, reaction, samanahara. Number 3, attention, manasikara. Number 4, reviewing, vichapakana. These 4 petals are necessary. So all he needs to do at this stage is to decide to tranquil the breath. When the breath is very close, at that time the meditator must decide, my breath must be tranquil. But intentionally he should not try to breathe very, very smoothly. If he do, then concentration will decrease. Because of this reason, please allow in a natural way. But at the beginning of sitting, my breath must be tranquil. In this way, you should decide. That decision is enough. Then please concentrate on your natural breath. Slowly, the breath will become settled. So all he needs to do at this stage is to decide to tranquil the breath and to be continuously aware of it. That way he will find the breath becomes more tranquil and the nimitta may appear. Just before the nimitta appears, a lot of yogis encounter difficulties. Mostly they find that the breath becomes very subtle and unclear. They may think the breath has stopped. If this happens, he should keep his awareness where he last noticed the breath and wait for it there. So, when the breath disappears, they should wait and see on the previous touching point, nursery or upper lip. From this point only wait, but there is still very subtle, very gentle breath is still there. So because of this reason, you are still breathing. There are only 7% who do not breathe. Among 7% you are not included. Because they are dead person, you are not yet dead. In mother's womb, you are not yet in mother's womb. Because they cannot breathe. Then unconscious persons, they do not breathe. You are still conscious, not unconscious man. Fourth jhana attainment, within fourth jhana attainment, they do not breathe. No, you have not yet attained fourth jhana. Then cessation attainment, nirada samapatti. Within cessation attainment, there is no breath, completely stop. But you are not yet attained cessation attainment. And then Brahma also do not breathe, does not breathe. You are not yet Brahma. So because of this reason, still you are breathing because of weakness of your mindfulness and awareness. You cannot feel the breath only. So just focus on the touching point and upper lip, then you will feel breath very quickly. When it is subtle, he should not make the breath more obvious, as the effort will cause agitation and his concentration will not develop. Just be aware of the breath as it is, and if it is not clear, simply wait for it where he does notice it. You will find that as he applies his mindfulness and wisdom in this way, the breath will reappear. Here the Buddha is instructing the meditator to be aware of the whole breath from beginning to end. As he does this, the nimitta may now appear. If it does, do not immediately shift the mind to it, but stay with the breath. Why? For beginners, when the nimitta appears, usually nimitta is not stable. Why? Concentration is not yet deep enough to maintain the nimitta. Because of this reason, if they quickly shift to the nimitta, the nimitta will disappear. For some meditators, let it appear first. For some meditators, nimitta appear first. Why? It depends on their parami. When their parami is very mature, then when they are concentrated on the breath object, very quickly nimitta appear together with breath. But when their parami is a little bit far away, then they must try hard. Because between their parami, between the one type of existence where they establish their parami, in this very life, there are many defilements then they cannot concentrate well thoroughly. So they must try hard. But in one of previous lectures, very close to this very lecture, if they have practiced Anapana meditation thoroughly, then when they are concentrating on the natural breath, very soon breath will become nimitta very quick. So it depends on Burmese. Because of this reason, if you focus on your nimitta very, very quickly, then because concentration is not yet deep enough to maintain this nimitta, then nimitta will disappear very quickly. So the best way is you should focus only that breath. Breath and nimitta must be together, coming out from your nostril. At that time, your concentrated mind will stick to the nimitta automatically, because the nimitta and breath are together. And then you can focus only just nimitta. And then breath also very, very subtle. Because of this, they say, while focusing on your nimitta, you will forget your breath. But still you are breathing. However, you do not pay attention to your breath. You pay attention only nimitta. Because of this reason, you can thoroughly concentrate on your nimitta. So the nimitta of Anapanasati varies according to the individual yogi. To some, the nimitta is pure and fine like cotton wool or drawn up cotton, moving air or a drop. A bright light like the morning star Venus, a bright ruby or gem, or a bright pearl. To others it is like the stem of a cotton plant or a sharpened piece of wood. To yet others it is like a long rope or string, a wreath of flowers, a puff of smoke, a stretch of copperwood, a fern of mist, a lotus, a cherry of wheat, a moon or a sun. In most cases, a pure white nimitta like cotton wool is the Ogaha nimitta, taking up side or learning side. And it is usually dull and opaque. When the nimitta becomes bright like the morning star, brilliant and clear, it is the Patibhaga nimitta counterpart side. The other images should be understood in this way too. So even though Anapanasati is a single meditation subject, it produces various types of nimitta. The nimitta appears differently to different people. Thus, the nimittas are different because of perception. When perception changes, nimitta also changes. Especially for those who can concentrate well on the nimitta. At that time, if they can concentrate more than 1 hour, 2 hours, etc. in every sitting, then if they change their perception, the nimitta will be changing. For example, if they want to see red color nimitta at that time, then nimitta will become red. If they want to see yellow color nimitta, then nimitta will become yellow. But this is for those who have enough concentration on. For beginners, it is impossible. If they want to see round nimitta, then nimitta will become round. If they want to see long nimitta, then nimitta will become long. So if the meditator try in this way, slowly concentration will decrease. Why? Kota Poto Gasivana Sati Tapitava Bhavanta Siva Bhavana Sambhitati. This is a very important rule. One the touching point, if you can concentrate on your breath, at that time only your concentration can develop up to the attainment of full absorption stage. But if you move your attention from the touching point to another area, then your concentration cannot develop and you cannot attain jhana. So this is very important. Because of this reason, Please don't try to make the breath long or short, or to make the nimitta long or short, or maybe to make the nimitta different color. If the color is changing, then concentration slowly will decrease. So when concentrated on the nimitta anapana counterpart sign, to avoid dropping into Bhuenga and to develop further, he needs to the help of the five controlling faculties to push the mind and fix it on the Anapana counterpart sign, Pratibhaga nimitta. The five controlling faculties are: number 1, faith, saddha; number 2, effort, viriya; number 3, mindfulness, sati; number 4, concentration, samadhi; number 5, wisdom faculty, jnana, which penetrates Anapana counterpart side. So the five controlling faculties are the five powers that control the mind and keep it from straying off the path of samatha, tranquility, and vipassana insight that leads to nibbana. If one or more of the controlling faculties are in excess, there will be in balance. When the five controlling faculties are sufficiently developed and balanced, concentration will go beyond excess up to jhana, full absorption concentration. When he reaches jhana, his mind will know the Pratibhaga nimitta without interruption. This can continue for several hours, even all night, or for a whole day. When his mind is still concentrated on the Anapana Pratibhaga nimitta for 1 or 2 hours or more, he should try to discern the Bhuenga Mindo and the Anapana Pratibhaga nimitta together. So when the Bhuenga Mindo is bright and luminous, which is situated at the area in the heart, when he sees nimitta appears in the Bhuenga Mindo, he can discern five jhana patterns. But this is very interesting point. In Anguttara Nikaya, there is one sutta, there is one chapter, Ishvara Sangata chapter. In that chapter, Buddha teaches Bhava Sara Midam Bhikkhu Chaita. Because this Bhuenga Chaita is luminous and bright. The commentary explained, is there any color in mind? Mind has any color. Do you understand? Has any color? No. Mind is just consciousness and mental patterns only. They have no color. Color is the rupa, materiality, not mentality. Why Buddha teaches in this way? Sometimes Buddha teaches the Dhamma metaphorically. Please try to see me. Do you see me? By what? By what do you see me? Is it true? Do you see with your eye to me? Is it true? Is it true? Not true. This is metaphorical. Eye consciousness arises with on your eye translucent element. That eye consciousness only see. For example, if you close your eye, but there is still eye translucent, but you cannot see. Why? Why is eye consciousness cannot arise when you close your eye? If you open your eye at the time, if there is also enough light at the time, only eye consciousness can arise together on your eye. At the time you can see this color. However, eye consciousness, I see you by my eye consciousness. For example, if you say, then they will laugh. They will not accept. Naturally, they use I see by my eye. You do not use IC. Fine.